So I saw your movie yesterday and I was very impressed.
Thank you.
My first question is, Steven Spielberg called you the new Tom Hanks. What's your take on that personally? Were you surprised or?
It's flattering, it's just very flattering. And I understand how he could make that kind of assumption, or not assumption, but critique of me. There are similarities, Tom Hanks is not an Adonis, and I am not an Adonis. We are very normal-looking people. So visually, there's a similarity in the fact that we are not the typical heartthrob romantic lead types who finagled the public into believing us as that. We're both con artists. No, he's a very, he's on a completely different level. I'm a kid who just started out. He's a legend and an icon. When Tom Hanks is done, people will remember him forever. He'll be painted on, buildings and things in Hollywood. I don't think I'm that. Comparison is strange, but flattering and a lot of pressure. This was a way to make cash, and I was really broke and living in a place called Echo Park. And my dad was selling drugs, and it was a real shitty existence. That's not a fun place to be as a minor. So this was a way to make money. And then it wasn't until I made Holes and met John Voight that it became craft. Originally it was just career, and I was exploiting it, and this was something that it was just, no substance, exploitation, way to make profit and get out of where I was living. And it wasn't until I met Voight that it became craft, and then it became something else. It became this magical, this passionate journey that I'm now involved in. Yeah, I mean, what was the other route? To be a model? That wasn't going to happen for me.
Making music.
Music I was never involved in.
But now you're playing drums, I read somewhere.
No.
And doing... No?
No. No, I don't. No, I mean, my life is rooted in... I don't put much weight in this. This is all sort of fantasy land. And this isn't the real me. This is my representative. This conversation is too important for me to be the real me. The real me is not a really good selling tool because it's too real, and it's me. And this is a watered-down, sound-bitten version of who I am. And this is just another fantasy land. This is another role that I've created for you and whoever's watching. And I don't put much of my personal in this. And I think when you do, and you put too much in it, and you make this your stability, and this is all like your truth and your reality, then when it goes away, you're not going to have much to stand on. My stability, my truth, and my reality is rooted in something completely opposite of Hollywood. I have a real family and real friends who I've had before this, and will have after this. And if I'm a train conductor in a year, that's cool too. It's not really going to change my opinion of myself. This was fun while I was in it, and if I'm not anymore, that's fine also. We used to tie like mirrors on our shoes when we were in third grade, and like walk through the school and do that type of thing, the girls and whatnot. So yeah, a little bit. And anybody who's ever read Us Weekly is a voyeur. Anybody who's been on MySpace or Facebook, they're a voyeur. So I am a voyeur, and I accept it, and it's human nature. Anytime you don't want to deal with yourself, you look at somebody else's stuff like, oh, you got it way worse than I do, buddy. It's just human. I mean, I think there's a deviation when you make a conscious choice to take some binoculars and make popcorn, and that's a whole different person. That person has a problem. I've never gotten into it like that. The plan is just to stay honest with my work. The goal is to be prepared and make sure that you put everything, you put your all into it. Acting has little to do with concentration. Has nothing to do with concentration.
But?
Acting has nothing to do with talent. Acting has nothing to do with a lot of the things that people think it has to do with. Well, I mean, it depends, unless bumping into furniture is something that you need to do. It's really about setting goals in the scene and accomplishing goals or not accomplishing goals. Talent is funny, I've always looked at talent like, what the hell does talent really mean? Talent is to card players, talent is to actors what luck is to card players. It's not really anything. It's just a fictitious word that people have created and labeled things, Talent is like, I never really believed in talent. I believe in drive and determination and preparation. But talent is sort of like luck. And I wouldn't want to think of myself as talented because it doesn't seem like there's any validity in that. I like to think of myself as an ordinary man with extraordinary determination. And that's it. Daniel Day-Lewis, Sidney Poitier, Dustin Hoffman, Gene Hackman. Those are my guys. John Cusack, Steve Martin, Bill Murray. That commedia dell'arte thing that they've perfected. That's a whole different side of it, the Bill Murray side. I love the fact that he's so dramatic in his comedy. It's the best type. I have tons of role models, and those guys are for different reasons. Stand up, speak up, invent nothing, deny nothing, and stay out of school. That's my motto.
Okay.
It seems to work.